Hey guys, Michael G, the average guitar guy here. Today's video we're going to talk about some guitar players that you may or may not know. A lot of you probably don't know, but they're definitely worth checking out. They're old school guitar players, primarily from the 70s, but that's where I come from, so that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to start with probably the one guitar player most of you would know, if not all of you, but again, they're worth checking out. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about each guy, their style, what they offer, and what songs you should try to check out. You can find just about any of these songs that I'm going to recommend on YouTube, and then maybe from there you check out more of their work. All of these guitar players are in a band setting, and they're unique. Some are progressive, some are blues-based, and we know guitarists in those realms, right? On the progressive side, we've got Steve Howe, Steve Hackett, Trevor Rabin, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, a bunch of those guys. And on the heavy-duty blues and rock side, of course, there's Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, Jimi Hendrix. We know all those guys, but these guys are a little different. So let's get started. The first group, a lot of you probably do know, is Gentle Giant. But the guitar player you may not know. His name is Gary Green. And it was a very interesting, eclectic mix because Gary was a blues-based guitar player playing in a very avant-garde, progressive band. Gentle Giant, I would say, is keyboard-oriented band and a multi-instrumental band with multiple brothers, the Shulman brothers, being the leaders of the band. But Gary Green definitely was very involved in making this band what they were. This is the album Three Friends, and on this album there is a song called Peel the Paint. Gary does an amazing job on this song. You should definitely check it out, and check out everything else that Gentle Giant did. They have some really cool stuff. They were together from around 1970 till about 1980, and Gary was the guitar player for the whole stint of this band. The next band that a lot of you probably heard of, but may not think about the guitar players necessarily, is Crack the Skye. Again, the 1970s band, although they are still together, and the main guitar player in the band, Rick Witkowski, is still the guitar player in the band. However, back on the first three albums, and the live album, and this is the third album, Safety in Numbers, the two guitar players were Rick Witkowski and Jim Griffiths, and together they really kicked it. They were a rockin' two guitar players, did some great stuff together, individual solos, some great interplay between them. If you get a chance, find the song Lighten Up McGraw on this album, Safety in Numbers. There's some real killer guitar work in that song. There's great guitar work on the whole album and everywhere on their albums. And Rick is an amazing guitar player, but his interplay with Jim Griffiths was really something special, I think. Great blues player, Tony McPhee. He was the founder and the leader of this band, the Groundhogs. Groundhogs were a British blues band, three-piece band at this point, although they went through many iterations, three-piece band, four-piece band, five-piece band, and Tony did some really interesting stuff, especially in this time period, which was the late 60s into the early 70s. This album, Split, has Split parts 1, 2, 3, and 4. Has a number of other songs on it. Try to find the song Cherry Red. Tony does some really outrageous stuff on Cherry Red. Tony continued playing as the Groundhogs up until about 10 years ago. He had a stroke. It affected his ability to play and sing. So he's been on hiatus since sometime around 2008, 2010. But check out, if you can, Tony McPhee, the Groundhogs. Another great album of theirs is called Blues Obituary. He does some really cool stuff on that album as well. Here's a great one and a sad one. Les Harvey. The band is Stone the Crows. A couple of members of this band went on to do other things. Jim Dewar, the bass player and vocalist, went on to be the bass player and vocalist for Robin Trower, with Robin's big albums of Bridge of Sighs and the like. And Maggie Bell, she went on to have a fairly good solo career, a very Janis Joplin-like singer. The reason those guys went on is because, unfortunately, after the second Stone the Crows album, Les Harvey was electrocuted during a concert on stage in England and died instantly on stage. Terrible loss for the music community. His guitar playing is incredible. Reminiscent to some, like the Mike Bloomfield maybe. This album has only 5 songs on it. I Saw America is the whole second side of the album. But the guitar work in the touch of Your Loving Hand, which is the opening cut on this album, is absolutely gorgeous. And this is Stone the Crows' first album. They put out 2 albums with Les Harvey. And again, unfortunately, he passed away well before his time. These last 2 guitar players I'm going to bring up are, I would say, 2 of the most unknown, amazing guitar players out there. This is a band from the mid-70s called Happy the Man. They claim they are not basing their name on the Genesis song of the same name, though they are a progressive band, played a lot of Genesis music when they were a cover band. But nonetheless, this is Happy the Man. The guitar player, Stanley Whitaker, he's from another planet. This is their first album, the eponymous Happy the Man. Check out the song Stumpy Meets the Firecracker in Stencil Forest. It's an amazing piece of music. This, again, is a band that is, I wouldn't even say keyboard-oriented, instrumental, group-oriented music. But Stanley's work on this whole album, and the second album even, is really amazing. And Stumpy is an incredible song, which was also written by Stanley. So check this out, Stanley Whitaker. I believe he still plays in various ways, but not anymore with Happy the Man as far as I know. And lastly is a band that only put out 2 albums back in the 70s. The band was called Orchestra Luna, and the guitar player was Randy Roos. Now Randy was a jazz guitar player, playing in a band that played jazz, rock, Broadway-type theater music, carnival music. This album is the most eclectic album of music I've ever heard in my life. It's pretty much impossible to find. However, you can find some of the songs from this album. And the song to check out is Doris Dreams. It's a long, very eclectic song with many different styles happening. But Randy does a beautiful jazz solo in the middle and a killer, distorted rock solo that ends the song, a couple of minutes long. I heard this song when I was a young teenager on a late night radio show sometime after midnight. After I heard that, I had started playing guitar already. That made me decide I need to play the guitar. I need to practice the guitar. I need to become a guitar player. This song, Doris Dreams, just tore me up. Randy still does work. He does some mixing and mastering. He does some new age music. But this Orchestra Luna album, absolutely amazing. So there they are. Orchestra Luna, Happy the Man, Stone the Crows, Groundhogs, Crack the Sky, and Gentle Giant. What do I have here? 6 amazing guitar players in 6 pretty amazing bands. Definitely worth checking them out if you don't know them. If you do know them and you've heard them before, check them out again. They're worth listening to. Hope you enjoyed this little video about guitar players you may or may not know. I'm Michael G., the average guitar guy. If you like what you heard and you'd like to hear more, don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell so you know when my next videos are coming out. I'd love to hear your comments about these guys, but also tell me about guys we all may not know. I'll check them out and maybe we can discuss them further on this channel. In the meantime, I'd like to sign off. Michael G., the average guitar guy. See you in my next video.